Hi, Virgo. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for September of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
I'm Julia Mijas in San Francisco, California.
Well, Virgo, if this is your sun sign, then it's your birthday month and you're due for your yearly birthday reading. You can get answers to questions about finance in that as well, which you might need after you hear this horoscope. You'll find a link for that birthday reading in the text that comes with this video. I want to start with Juno retrograde, which has been going on since July, late July. It's happening in your 7th house, and so you really might be feeling this. I think Juno loves to be in the 7th house, which is also very much about relationships, as she is herself. And so I would think that this relationship retrospection period is really strong for you this year. Pisces, of course, is a sign of compassion and spirituality. And I think that this Juno retrograde period is having you check all of your relationships of duration, whether they are relationships with clients that you see through work, or a business partner, or a spouse, or even a co-parent. All of those committed relationships are up now for reevaluation along spiritual lines, asking yourself, do I really feel that soul connection with this person? And do I feel like this relationship, brings good to the world? So while you're going through that process, there is an important milestone in that process that's happening this month. And it happens on September 7th, when Juno opposes the sun right here. I call this Commitment Clarity Day. And it's a day when, in this process of reevaluation, clarity can come, insight can come, it can land on your head, and you can have a realization about whatever relationship you've been looking at. So look for that on September 7th. And just be aware that this is going to go on until late October. And at that point, when we're coming out of this, and I'm going to help you make sense of that in next month's horoscope. But for now, Julia, let me throw the ball over to you, because I know you have news about Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
There is a lot to tell you, Virgo, because Mercury is going to be in 2 different houses this month and is going retrograde. So that's a lot of activity. But to start,
and Mercury is an important planet for the Virgos of the world.
Oh, too. Yeah. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So when a planet that rules your sign goes retrograde, it can be a particularly frustrating time for that person. So Mercury starts the month in your 2nd house. This is the house of your possessions. This is the house of your money and also your values too. So with Mercury in the 2nd house, this could be a time where your mind, your thinking is very preoccupied with your stuff, with your money, with the material sphere of your life. Now, Mercury is a planet that can be linked to buying and selling. So maybe you're thinking of buying something new, selling something you already have, or you might have increased communications around the values in your life. Now, on September 10th, Mercury goes retrograde in this house. And retrograde cycles are a time of review, redoing, and rethinking. So you might have to go back and reconsider your financial life in some way. Maybe something's not quite adding up in your QuickBooks. Maybe there's like a bill that you thought you paid, but then all of a sudden didn't. So you have to kind of go back and do that again. Or maybe you're reconsidering whether you should truly buy or sell that thing. Now, on September 22nd, this is a very important day to keep track of because Mercury will be exactly conjoined the sun. And anytime Mercury is conjoined the sun, it's known as an epiphany day and a day of insights. And this is known as, this particular one is the lesser epiphany day because Mercury is retrograde. When it's direct and conjoins the sun, that's greater epiphany day, and that'll happen later on. But since Mercury is conjoining the sun on September 22nd in your second house, this can be a time of insights and revelations into your finances. Maybe you're now reconsidering like, oh, this is a way I could make a little bit money, or this is how I should strategize asking for a raise. Or maybe it is about your stuff too. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I really do need to sell my car. It's kind of, you know, become a money suck and I don't really use it anymore. Then on September 23rd, this retrograding Mercury is going to dip back into your first house. That first house is the house of self. And when planets are in the first house, we tend to really project them out to other people. And since you've got a retrograding Mercury in the first house, you could perhaps be feeling very misunderstood by others. Maybe when you try to, you are having more trouble during this cycle finding the right words to really express yourself properly. And that can kind of lead to frustrations and having to go back and rediscuss things. And excuse me, Mercury will complete this whole retrograde cycle on October 2nd. So stay tuned to next month's video and we'll tell you what that will feel like.
Hey, Julia, do you mind if I throw a little Mercury retrograde mantra out there for the Virgos of the world?
I think they should hear it.
I think it's so great to just really be more patient. So a Mercury retrograde mantra might be, I will be patient, even though I am facing idiots who don't get what I'm really trying to say. Disorganized, uncollected idiots, and I will just be patient with them all.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And then I'll say a few things about Venus. Venus on September 4th enters your first house. So what's really nice about that is Venus is adding some luck and harmony into your physical body, into how you project yourself to others. So if you are having miscommunications, which definitely do happen with Mercury retrograde, Venus in the first will just also help you really embody that diplomatic energy so you can sort of smooth things over, or people won't get too annoyed with you because you're just too cute. You know, wherever Venus is, Venus in the first can make one extra cute. So that can be helpful because Venus adds charm too to how you're projecting yourself to others. It's a wonderful transit for the single Virgos to start dating, to really make a good first impression with other people based on your looks and your appearance. And then on September 30th, Venus is going to enter the second house in Libra, and we'll really cover that in our next month's video because it's only there for like the last day or two of September. And then finally, Mars is slowing down in the sky, and he is going to be going retrograde next month. But, you know, before he goes retrograde, any planet before they go retrograde starts slowing down more and more and more. And there's going to be a big cycle of Mars in your 10th house. It's going to be starting this month, and it's just going to carry on for the next few months. So Mars in the 10th house. Mars is a planet of action and activity, and wherever we have it, we can be driven. It can be an area of our life that really gets a lot more active in some ways. Now, the 10th house is the house of authority figures. It's your career. It's your sort of overarching life direction. It can even be your public reputation. This is a very public house. You know, it's kind of located almost directly overhead, which is a very visible part of the sky. So the 10th house is a very visible part of who you are. And Mars goes into the 10th. This can be a time where you are getting a lot of hard work done at your job, which can be very constructive. You know, it can be very productive as well. Or if you're looking for a new job, you could be very driven and really spending a lot of energy and time just kind of looking around, checking your contacts, and going on Craigslist, if people still go on Craigslist, I guess, to look for jobs. Now, Mars in the 10th can sometimes bring frustrations in the career too, especially where you might not be feeling like you're seeing eye to eye with your boss. Or if you have other types of authority figures in your life, this could be anyone from even a government official. If you're running your own business, this can be your parents too, teachers if you're still in school. You know, this can be a time of a lot of frustrations, maybe even some conflicts with authority figures. Now, since the 10th house also rules your public reputation, there might be something that's going on in how other people are talking about you that also gets you very irritated, because Mars can represent our anger too. But if you can just focus on getting tons and tons of work done, maybe doing it a little bit more on your own, and trying to kind of stay out of the fray of other people, that would definitely be for the best, and you can get a lot done.
Absolutely. Well, this month there are the usual two moons. The first one is the full moon. It happens on the 10th. And here we see the moon in Pisces hanging out very close to Juno, opposite the sun in Virgo, really reinforcing the relationship retrospection themes of Juno in Pisces retrograde. And also adding quite a bit of emotion to them as well. Emotions can run high during a full moon, and full moons do tend to be relational just to begin with. And with the sun being here in your own first house, and a lot, frankly, of your attention being on yourself, as it should be in your birthday sign, I think that there may be some conflict here, and your partner may even have a lot of emotion coming up as you are going through this process of kind of reevaluating the relationship and asking yourself, what is this a soul connection? Is this not a soul connection? What if it could be? And so this could be a pretty emotional moon for you right here around the 10th. Now, a little later in the month, as the sun travels on, it moves into your second house and changes signs. It comes into Libra, bringing us into the season of cool beauty with wind blowing through. This is an air sign, and brings the sun into your second house. Now, wherever the sun goes, it's a good idea to bring the spotlight of your life-giving attention. Because the sun, shines, and it brings life to everything here on Earth. And wherever the sun travels in your chart, it can bring that kind of life-giving energy. So the moon is going to meet up with the sun right here in that second house of yours on September 24th, 25th. And the second house being a house of all things physical world, all material things, including your body and your relationship to it, your food and your eating, and your money and your values and your worth. And so this new moon here is saying plant seeds in your worth, in your values, in your finances, balance your budget. This moon we're calling calculated diplomacy versus boundless enthusiasm, because Jupiter is over here hanging out opposite to this new moon sun combination here in your second house. And this is the axis of finance. Jupiter over here is going to give you a lot of confidence that now might be the time when somebody who owes you money will pay you back, or now might be the time to borrow. And it is true that you could be having luck in that area. I would be very cautious, and I would approach it with calculated diplomacy. If you're thinking about some form of investment, putting your money someplace where it will grow, that certainly is a possibility with Jupiter passing through your 8th house, but you better put on your thinking cap. And since Mercury is traveling backwards through your second house, as Julia mentioned before, really thinking and reevaluating your budget, and how to make investments in ways that will not overbalance your budget, that's really the most sensible approach. So beware of approaching investments with an excess of enthusiasm and a lack of balance during this particular new moon. Well, that's what we have for you today, Virgo. You can always find your horoscope on our website, pandoraastrology.com, in the horoscope tab. And if you want to know more about this month's 2 moons, you can find them on the forecast page on our website. And if you did want that birthday reading, you can find the readings tab. Julia or I would be happy to see you. And if you want to know more about Juno retrograde or other long-term happenings this year, then visit our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, and check out the Year of 2022 news playlist. Until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.